Welcome back into the Rounding Third podcast, our 1 year podiversary. Pretty awesome. Can't believe we've been on for a year already. Um, First, I want to thank Harrison and Sean for putting this together with me. It has been an absolute blast to talk baseball with these guys every week. So thank you guys for sticking with me for the full year, and can't wait for more
Whew.
shows. But it's been awesome.
Well, and I,
No,
I
man,
won't
dude.
forget I won't forget
Go
that Facebook post where you're like, anybody want to do this? And I'm like, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna say I got the easy part. Nick and I have been talking about what Nick years. We were like, oh, we should do that. We should do that. And
Yeah.
then you're the one that put all the effort in. So yeah, I get the easy part, man. I just show up every week, so that's easy for me.
It's a lot of fun.
But yeah, man, it's been a blast. I mean, we were just talking about it earlier. It's like can't believe it's been a full year. Like yesterday was our first recorded show a year ago. So
Crazy.
just really cool. But and kind of cool that it worked out that we could only do it like a midweek one this week. But
Yeah. Right.
it's just been perfect. So, but also thanks to everybody that's been supporting us. Coming to the shows and chatting with us. We love it. We love all the hot takes, the interactions on Facebook. It's been an awesome year, and I can't wait for more. But
Yeah, I agree.
and we actually had
Blast.
baseball to talk about. We were worried a while there. We were like, oh, we started this podcast, and
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
we don't have baseball.
It,
We
it
were like
looked like you
pumping.
picked the wrong year.
We were pumping college baseball. We were just like, hey, Oregon State.
You're right.
But
Crazy.
at least we had the Wolfpack to talk about there for a little while,
Yeah,
so that
for a
wasn't so
little
bad,
while.
right?
Yeah,
Tommy
for
For a
Tanks.
little while.
about a week and a half, and then that.
Yeah. And then they started playing real teams, and then not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So, anyways, if you haven't already and you're watching, make sure you share our podcast on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube and all of that. And again, thanks for supporting us. It's been awesome. So let's just get into it. We'll do the championship series recaps here. We'll start in the NL. We'll start with the Phillies and Padres. I picked Phillies in 7, and it was Phillies in 5. I mean,
Yeah, I do. I'm pretty sure Morgan said Phillies in 5.
yeah, he's been
I think
on
when
it.
we were going through it, he said Phillies have a hot bat. Phillies are swinging it at the right time. Blah blah blah. He said Phillies in 5, and I think I laughed out loud, but I couldn't have been more wrong. Holy moly,
Yeah. I mean,
that
I
was
think we all took the Phillies. I think I took them in 6. I mean, I think that it seemed like they were going to win that series, but they just, I mean, they were hot, and Reese Hoskins got crazy hot. Bryce Harper continued to hit. It was, I mean, those guys just kept coming at you, and then you had Schwarber hit a 900-foot bomb and all that,
Yeah,
and
and that's to
I've
set the
never
tone
seen
in
a ball
game
like
one.
that
That was to set the tone in game one, dude. 488, the longest of his career, dude.
to the woodshed.
Whew, crazy.
yeah. I mean, but that's a tough, like you said, Nick, to set the tone in game one. Like that's hard for the rest of the San Diego staff to not just see Darvish get taken out 500 feet, but they hit 3 solo bombs off of him in one game. So, like, your best pitcher is going out there game one. You beat the Mets when you shouldn't have. You beat the Dodgers when you shouldn't have. You got your ace going out there on game one and just gives up moon bomb after moon bomb. Like,
Yeah.
so that's not just tough for Darvish. Like, that's got to be like the rest of the staff is looking around being like, fuck, man, we can't make a single mistake. And they couldn't. Every mistake they made, they couldn't get away with a single one.
Yeah. Yeah, and Harper
was-
was the other one that went deep that game. That was just Schwarber and
crazy.
Harper, and that was the game. It was 2-0, game one.
That's it.
And Wheeler was again disgusting. They had no answer for him. That guy's been dealing.
And what's amazing is Darvish. I mean, he wasn't bad. Like he had good stuff. He just literally he made a couple of mistakes, and that was it. That was the whole game. Wheeler was that good. The offense did just enough. But that ball that Schwarber hit off the bat, my initial reaction was, "Oh my God, where's that going to land?"
Oh,
The wow factor for me was well, obviously that home run, but Darvish throws 96, 97 average and throws a 69-mile-an-hour curveball. He struck out Harper on a 69-mile-an-hour curveball. I swear to God, Bryce Harper could have swung 3 more times.
yeah.
Oh my God, it was ridiculous.
mean, like to have a 30-mile-per-hour drop in the same arm speed is gross. No thanks. I'm all set with that.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it goes to show you too, to Morgan's point from last, or maybe I think it was probably 2 shows ago, but, like, just how confident that lineup is. Like, that
Yeah.
takes a serious confident lineup for Harper to go up there and look silly, but it didn't even shake them. Like, it didn't shake that dugout at all. You know, it was like, "Hey, you know what? He got us. Tip our cap, move on." Like, it didn't they weren't up there anxious. They didn't have stress at bats. They were just doing what they do. Like, nothing shook them.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, obviously we're gonna get to predictions and whatnot, but, I'm having a hard time thinking that, like, Houston, better team, and it's not close. But, like, how do you pick against Philly right now?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you.
and I'll pick Houston, but, like, how do you, like, Philly? They're just every up and down the lineup, up and down the roster, up and down the rotation, in the bullpen, the coaching staff. Everyone's just got so much confidence. They're just exuding. Like, I think it's going to be one hell of a series. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Well, Will, and you look at game one as a pretty good barometer of the series. Darvish goes 7, gives up 3 hits, 2 earned on bombs. K's 7, really nice line for most days.
Sure.
But then you got Wheeler who goes 7, gives up 1 hit, a walk, and 8 Ks. Like they were in control. They were calm. They hit 2 massive bombs on a couple of Darvish mistakes. Like, this team is patient. They will wait it out. They will find the mistake. They will hammer the mistake, and they've gotten good enough pitching with it. We're not on edge. Like, when you look at the Yankee series, we'll get to here in a little bit, and that team was pressing because they weren't ever off to a good start. Like, they didn't have confidence that the pitching would hold up long enough for them to be patient.
And let's be honest too, like, this series was much, much closer than a 4-1 finish.
Oh yeah, it certainly was.
Like if you watch this game, these series, like, all both teams were in every single game.
Yep.
Like, and
There
they
was a
were
lot of
back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of late inning runs. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
So game 2, we'll move on to game 2. Blake Snell and the Padres give up 4 in the second inning.
Oh,
So
that hurt.
So Snell comes out and just gets hammered. And then back-to-back home runs by Brandon Drury and Josh Bell gets the Padres rolling. They get back into it. And then Austin and Aaron Nola face off in game 2. You see his dad. His dad he goes, if they always face off, I have the Padres jersey underneath. But if Aaron's pitching, it's over the top. But tomorrow I'll have the Padres jersey on because Aaron's not on the field. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
But so Austin Nola was 1 for 2 with an RBI to make it 4-3, and
That was a big RBI too.
That was a huge hit off your brother right there. And then Soto makes it 4-4. Then Brandon Drury makes it 6-4 with a bases loaded 2-out single. Bell makes it 7-4. And that's how it finished in game 2. So it was 1-1 after game 2.
Yeah, the wheels kind of fell off for Nola there. That 5th inning got away from him in a big way and kind of ruined what was looking like could have been a decent day for him.
Yep. Yeah, and the Padres just came back and then just didn't give it up. But
they just kept coming. Every time you thought he might catch a break, they just kept coming.
Yep. Game 3. Sure as shit. Kyle Schwarber gets up, hits a leadoff homer, sets a tone. Like, let's go. Another one. Just the dude, like, he was honestly, I was just gonna say that bat. The Red Sox missed that bat this year for sure.
But it's. I don't think the Red Sox are in the playoffs if they had Kyle Schwarber.
Oh,
no, I think
absolutely not.
I think one great thing about Schwarber is the guy shows up in the postseason. He shows up when it matters. He shows up.
Yeah.
Him in the Red Sox lineup would have been great because, like, still a great player. But, I mean, he fits so well in Philadelphia. I mean, we said it when that happened. Remember, we talked about him at Citizens Bank. We talked about him in that lineup. So I'm not shocked that he's having the season that he's having. But, I mean, God, the guy's on another level in the postseason. It really is. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Then Gene Segura hits another 2-run single, breaks a 1-1 tie, and then Phillies end up ultimately winning game 3, 4-2. Sir Anthony Dominguez and Alvarado on the backside of that Phillies bullpen those guys throw cheddar.
Disgusting.
Oh, it's
Those
ridiculous.
guys are like 102, 103 on the black.
Movement.
Right, lefty and righty from both sides of the mound. Like,
It's just not right.
no. Yeah,
Just
imagine
not right.
102 just coming in on your hands with like 8 inches of lateral movement. No,
No,
like
no.
balls. No. It's gross.
And I tell you, the first time I ever even get a piece of it and foul it off my shin, I'm not stepping back in the box. Like, sorry, that's not happening.
Right?
Because
We're
like
just
with that
watching
kind
these-
of
Yeah.
with that kind of lateral movement, you ain't getting a good piece of it. So like,
Or these guys wearing 102 off the middle of their forearm or the back of the hand, dude, like all set, career over. I'm gonna go home and play the show. Sorry. Like,
it's ridiculous.
Curled up in the fetal position.
yeah, man. I just can't. That's crazy.
Like people talk about how hockey players have a screw loose, and like to a degree they do, like just putting their nut bag in front of a slap shot. Like you got a screw loose. Like baseball players though, just as much. Like you see Rizzo, like the way Rizzo crowds the plate, he gets hit so often. It's like that guy's a nutcase.
Right.
Like wearing them like off the inside of the elbow. Like I bang it on the desk and I'm on the DL for 15 days. Like he takes a fast. Like no way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. Oh my god.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So after game 3, Phillies are up 2-1. Well, they also obviously go on to win these next two, but game 4, Manny Machado, Juan Soto go deep, and then Rhys Hoskins starts his tear here. He homered twice in that game. In these 2 games, I think he had 3 home runs and 6 at bats at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of them were smoked.
Oh, yeah,
all
absolutely.
Of them smoked.
Yeah, he drove in 4 runs in game 4 alone. I mean, he was
all bat slam worthy, which might be one of the best bat flips I've ever seen. It wasn't even a bat flip; it was just an absolute spike. But
I don't know. But how does that compare to Jose Bautista? I still feel like that's like the ultimate bat flip. The spike was cool though. I mean, that was different and cool.
I know. Bautista's was awesome though. Bautista's started this. Bautista's was like started this whole new era of everyone bat flip.
I have a shirt. I'm pretty sure I've said it before. It says "Merry Flippin' Christmas" and it's got Jose Bautista with a bat flip on it.
And that bat went like approximately 85 feet in the air too. That was sent to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an aggressive flip.
But yeah, dude, these guys hitting these home runs and immediately looking in their dugout and like flexing and like, dude, it's another level right now. Oh yeah, it's so awesome.
Me going, man.
What a start to that game though. The game was 4-3 after an inning. You had like something like 6 hits or 7 hits in the first inning, 7 runs. Like there was a lot of action in the first frame.
Yeah. Well, in my game notes is that literally this: Padres take the lead, Philly answers. Padres take the lead, Philly answers. Schwarber goes deep, 9-6 Phillies. Like Real Muto home run, 10-6 Phillies, and that's it. Like it's just like it seemed the Phillies had an answer for every single thing that the Padres did, and it didn't matter.
Never let them off the hook, never let them get comfortable, just kept coming at them.
No. So then they're up 3-1. Let's go to game 5.
Well, and then real quick on game 4. If you're the Padres, what's disheartening is that Clevenger was terrible and Manaea was terrible. Like those are key arms for you, and they were terrible. Like couldn't get anybody out. You had Clevenger didn't get an out, gave up 3 earned. Manaea got 4 outs and gave up 5 runs. Like those guys that you thought you could count on absolutely were miserable for you in that game.
Who pitched who pitched in game 3?
For who?
For both.
Which day was game 3?
Yeah, so
I
gotta go back.
Was the first game in Philly.
It was Musgrove against Ranger Suarez.
Oh, Suarez! Thank you. I just absolutely drawn a blank.
Me too. I'm like, who pitched in that game?
Yeah, I just absolutely drew a blank, and I didn't write it down because pitchers aren't important.
No.
The one after the second. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
All right. All right. Game 5. This is the clincher for the Phillies. Rhys Hoskins, 2-run shot, 3 home runs, 6 at bats. Like I just said, like I mean, insanity that he was on the tear. Josh Bell ties it with a double, makes it 2-2. Padres score on 2 wild pitches in the same at bat. And this was the rainy one, right? Wasn't it kind of rainy and overcast and like, or am I thinking? No, that was the Yankees game.
Yeah.
Not this game.
But anyways, so Padres score on 2 wild pitches in the same at bat, make it 3-2, and then let's just fast forward to thank you, Scott. Happy anniversary. Thanks, appreciate it. And then we'll fast forward to Bryce Harper in the bottom of the 8th. I mean, talking about having a sack, dude, and just going up in that moment, knowing what's going to happen. Crazy. I had a feeling. I was like, this is like storybook ending right here.
Yeah,
This
I'm not
is-
sure if
this is
anybody
Harper's moment.
if anybody saw the radio call for it. I'll put the link in the chat, but the radio call for it's pretty good. The guys in Philly were losing it.
Yeah. I mean, so this is my thing with that. Okay. Padres are on the brink of elimination. You have you're up 3-2 at that point, and you have Josh Hader warm in the bullpen, ready to come in for Bryce Harper, and Nevin didn't pull the trigger. Is that me overthinking, or like what? I mean, what do we do in that moment?
Did you say Nevin?
Not
You,
Oh my
Melvin?
goodness. Sorry, Melvin. Yes. My mind's on the Angels.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Wait a second.
Melvin,
Which-
Nevin.
Which
Sorry.
is not like Bob Melvin. His MO was usually, the high leverage guy in the high leverage situation. It was surprising to let him leave Hader out there because, if I recall, Harper's career numbers are not very good against Hader. Most people's aren't. I thought it was odd that he did not make that move because Hader's pretty nasty, and Harper was gonna have a tough time squaring one up. But to not make that move and then see that home run get hit has got to be painful.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
hindsight's
it was tough. I'll
20/20.
be honest. I was in and out of that game, so I always feel like it's unfair for me to question a move like that. Like if I'm not in the flow of the game, it's just it's hard. Like it's easy to say when the home run gets hit, and I get that, but I'm gonna have to take myself out of that one because I wasn't like in that game. I was kind of in and out of it. But Harper's Harper. I mean, at this point, with the way he's swinging the bat this postseason, man, and I know Hader's Hader and Harper's Harper, I wouldn't have been surprised if he took Hader deep with the way he's swinging the bat. They needed it.
I mean, true.
They needed the hit, and he got the hit. Like I think you could have put Jesus Christ on the mound, and he would have found a way to get a hit for them.
Whoa. I don't know.
Listen,
But I mean, you're warming up Josh Hader for that entire inning for that matchup, and then you just leave him
True.
out there. Like
that's fair.
Who else are you bringing him in for after Harper? Nobody. They're all right-handed hitters after him.
Right.
I mean, I
That's
don't
true.
understand why else you're, like that's my point there. But
Yeah, I mean, basic baseball rules would say you make that move in that spot. Yeah,
lefty,
he did,
lefty.
and
Absolutely.
it hurt a lot.
Yeah. But who knows? Either way, they push it off a game. Phillies win in San Diego. Yeah. Even if they could have won in the bottom of the ninth. That we don't know, but whatever. That's not what happened. Harper gets up, 2-run shot. Phillies get 3 outs. That's the ball game. Crazy. So Phillies move on, and like I said, this series definitely felt closer than the ending series total was, the 4-1. I mean, the Padres were in every single game. There wasn't a single blowout. They were within a hit or two of making every single game a game.
Yeah, well, and that's one thing I was going to say is that I think that the Phillies Padres series is a lot more entertaining than the Yankees Astros because the games are good. They're competitive. They're back and forth. A lot of energy, a lot of excitement. I felt like you watch the Phillies and Padres play. The games were exciting and energetic and fun. You watch the Astros Yankees play. It was like watching a slow death. It was just really, really not nearly as entertaining as the National League Series.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Bryce Harper wins the MVP. No shocker there.
Yeah, pretty tough to go anywhere else on that one.
Well, and you look at it. So Harper, it was 8 for 20, hit 400 in the series, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, probably the biggest home run the Phillies have seen in a long time. You also had Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber hit 400. He was 6 for 15 with 3 home runs and 4 RBIs. And then Hoskins, he only hit 222. He had 4 hits. They were all home runs. 4 home runs, 7 RBIs. I mean, the guy was 4 for 18 with 4 home runs. I mean, it was home run or nothing. But these guys, they all spread out and they picked up big hits when they needed it. Everybody else contributed a little bit. Castellanos was 4 for 18. Segura was 2 for 17. Did not have a very good series, but it didn't matter because you had those 3 guys basically taking turns at who was going to deliver the big hit.
Did you hear John Smoltz pretty much making fun of Castellanos the entire time? Every time he'd come up to bat, he'd be like, first pitch swing and ground out to short. Here we go. Sure as shit. Like Castellanos only took only took 1 pitch in that entire series. It's like he just swung at everything.
And he's usually not that aggressive a hitter. I like the fact that he is aggressive, but he was ridiculously aggressive. Like he was in a hurry to get out of the batter's box.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Like if I'm again another reason why, I and maybe I'm overthinking it, but you look at the coaching staff, manager, hitting coach, quality control, the whole staff, Harper swinging the bat the way he is, Realmuto, Hoskins getting in the groove. You can almost look at Castellanos and be like, you know what, man, be as aggressive as you want.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're not relying on one guy to get up with 2 guys on and drive 3 home.
Right.
If you want to be aggressive, go be aggressive. We got other guys in this lineup that are raking right now. And, maybe that loosens up a guy like Castellanos in the next round. Maybe he didn't really get his pitch. And who knows? I mean, I'm projecting here. But
yep.
I'd be careful that he's not the guy that gets things going maybe against Houston because he's due. He is absolutely due to run into a couple games where he's stepping on some mistakes. He's due.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's to me something to keep an eye on moving forward here in this World Series.
You had Castellanos, 4 for 18. Bohm was 3 for 17. Another guy who made some really good contact just got out.
Yeah, he did.
You've got guys that were hitting the ball well. It wasn't showing up on the score sheet. There weren't a lot of the Phillies did not K a lot. There were not a ton of strikeouts from that team. Probably more than they would have liked, but they came in bunches. But you were getting consistently good at bats up and down that lineup. At least pitchers, you saw pitch counts go up. You saw guys getting a chance to get a look. And then those 3 guys, Hoskins, Schwarber, and Harper just took turns throwing the team on their back, and they got their way through. But to your point, Sean, you've got two or three other guys in that lineup hitting the ball really well. That they could be the guy in the next round.
Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, I mean, Bryce Harper was the MVP. It was no questions asked.
That's not even close.
I mean,
yeah, I agree.
And he's had 6 postseason home runs if you add all of them together. I think it's 5 or 6.
Yep.
I mean,
I think so. Yeah,
it's insane.
He's done all right.
All right, so let's move over to the sorry excuse for a series in the AL here. Yankees Astros Game 1. Harrison Bader somehow runs into 5 home runs this series.
He was a monster.
Unreal. But Maldonado tied it with a double. Gurriel and McCormick go back to back. Verlander becomes the most strikeouts in postseason history during this start. So of all time. So most strikeouts of all time in postseason history. Jeremy Pena goes 3 for 3, 2 doubles and a home run in this game.
Yeah, the rookie looked pretty comfortable in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Ooh, boy, did he.
This is the stat that's staggering for me in Game 1. 17 strikeouts for Yankees hitters, 2 for the Astros. The Astros struck out twice.
Well, that's and as we recapped, you said the Phillies didn't have a lot of strikeouts at all against San Diego. I expect that number to go up against Houston.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not by much, because I do think it's a good lineup that puts the bat on the ball, but that Houston team, they come for Case. They come after you for Case. And boy did they. And we talked about the Yankees all year long. I mean, this can't be a surprise to the 3 of us, but really to anybody that watches much of the Yankees. It's a team that hits home runs or they don't score runs. I mean, we've talked about it all year long. And I mean, shit. I mean, I'm not surprised the bill came due at all.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been the Yankees playoff MO for the last 4 or 5 seasons.
Years.
You know, they live and die by the 3-run home run, and when they don't hit the home runs against good pitching, they just don't win. And Verlander, I mean, he had 11 Ks in 6 innings, and honestly, there were some of the weak groundouts and pop-ups that were nearly Ks. I mean, he could have easily had 15 or 16. I mean,
Yeah.
there was nothing was hit hard against him. Nothing was that game. I never felt like was really in. You really had any concern about the outcome of.
No.
It just, I mean, other than Harrison Bader, nobody on that Yankees team seemed to have any idea what to do up there.
Yeah, I made a joke to one of my friends that's on my softball team that's a Yankees fan. I was like, Yankees had 5 combined runs in the series, and it was 5 solo shots by Harrison Bader. Like that was their entire, it was pretty much their entire offense. But
well, and what I find fascinating, and this goes into the Aaron Boone conversation, and I'm probably giving you something to run with here, Sean, but why on earth are you in the ALCS trying to figure out who your shortstop and your catcher are going to be? You're in the ALCS. If you don't know that by now, that's a problem. You should know who your starters are going into the beginning of the ALCS.
Especially up the middle.
Well, Boone was frigging with this lineup every day, not sure who to start. So these guys are, I mean, it's a constant flip-flop. How do you not have a consistent lineup at this point in the season?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I understand the, you want to give a little bit of a shakeup. Hey, we got to get the boys going. Fine. You're game 1. You just won a clinching game in your stadium against Cleveland. Now, you're better than Cleveland, but still, it went to 5 games. You won that 5th game. You earned a spot in the ALC. I don't know how you don't roll out the exact same lineup that just won you a clinching game against a guy that you know is going to come and bring it in Justin Verlander.
Right.
I mean, and listen, I do think like I'm hard on the guy because I don't think he's a good manager, but I do think the Yankees give him this script that he's supposed to go off of. So I still think there are some decisions that are made above him, and it's just forced on him, and he does it. Similar as to why Dave Roberts still has a job.
Dave Roberts.
I think Boone is going to keep a job as long as he nods his head and says yes, sir, to the people above him. So some of it I think is off of his plate, but good Lord, it's not a good look. It's not.
You're giving the fan base and the players no faith because you can't figure out who's going to play. Like,
now listen, man, you go out to Houston, you lose game 1, and then you go out and you lose game 2. You want to shake a lineup up, game 3, your first game at home? Fine. I'm fine with that. Shake the lineup up. Put someone on notice. Fine. But going into the series after you just won a clinching game, that to me, I don't understand that.
Right. You're creating controversy and noise around a team that just doesn't need it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, to use an analogy, I mean, we before we started recording, we were talking about the Patriots, right? And just that absolute disgusting performance Monday night. Like, Belichick's going to talk all week about how he doesn't have a QB controversy and then does what he does on Monday. You're creating your own controversy.
Yep.
Like, that's what Boone's doing with the Yankees, or at least did to start the series. You're creating all this buzz and talk about how the Yankees need something. The Yankees need something. Well, why do you think they need something? Well, I don't know, because their manager doesn't even trust their starting 9.
It's like, I mean, it's laughable. The Yankees are such a mess. Like, they win games in the regular season because they've got a loaded roster that's bound to win some games against really crappy teams. But then they get in the playoffs and they absolutely look like they just don't belong. They look outclassed, outmanaged, outplayed, out of their league year after year. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll move on to game 2. Bregman hits a 3-run bomb, and that's pretty much the scoring for game 2. The Yankees scratched 2 across throughout the rest of the game, but that game was never really in doubt. I mean, I never felt threatened by the Yankees at all during game 2, and it ended as a 3-2 win. And
well, especially when you got into the Houston bullpen. Once you really got into the Houston bullpen, and I know, like you said, they scraped him across, but you never felt like there was like a threat rising. Like you didn't really feel it.
No.
Well, and what stinks too is 2 things. So the Yankees score 2 runs. They were on errors. They were unearned runs, and the Astros had at least 3 other scoring opportunities that they weren't able to cash in. That could have been a 4-2, 5-2 game. It actually could have been a 5-0 game. Very easily.
Yeah,
if not absolutely. For some choppy defensive plays. But Framber Valdez, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 9 Ks. No earned, no walks. Like, He didn't give the Yankees a chance to breathe. Like he sucked the oxygen right out of that dugout, and that
And-
team just flailed.
And we know that. I mean, he did that to the Sox last year, and it's so
Oh, God.
frustrating.
It is.
You talk about sucking it out. I mean, that's exactly what he does, because even when he doesn't have the strikeout numbers, you're not getting solid contact. Like everything is just off the end of the bat or on the hands. You're rolling over. Like it's got to be demoralizing to step up for your third go around. It's like, fuck, this guy's still in the game. Like, what the hell?
Well, and if
if
it wasn't for Justin Verlander being on that staff,
Yeah.
the whole world would be talking about Valdez. Like
I
he
agree.
would be one of the top pitchers, but he sits behind Verlander, which is frightening to think. But and again, Yankees strike out 13 times. I mean, Yankees strike out 13 times. Astros strike out 6. They continue to put the ball in play, put pressure on the defense, and although they only scored the 3 runs, they had other scoring opportunities that could have easily happened, and that all of a sudden that game's a runaway.
Yeah. Game 3, Chas McCormick hits a 2-run homer. Christian Vasquez gets up and contributes, hits a 2-run single, makes it 5-0 Astros. Yankees only had 3 hits that entire game, and at this point of the series, we're only hitting $128 as a team.
Yeah, not only did they only have 3 hits, they didn't get their second, third till the 9th inning. They had
Right.
1 hit going into the 9th.
Right.
Yeah. And
Terrible.
another 11 strikeouts against 6 pitchers. I mean, the Astros ran everybody out there in this game.
Yeah.
And the Yankees couldn't do anything with any of them.
Yeah. Okay, and then game 4, Yankees jump out to 3-0, and when they jumped out to 3-0, that was on a Stanton home run.
Yep.
I'm like, the Astros aren't out of this game.
No,
Astros are
never
coming
out.
back and winning this. But I'm like, I knew it. I was like, they're coming back and winning this game. Like, it's not even, it's just when. Sure enough, Jeremy Pena comes up again, 3-run shot, ties it. 4-run third inning by the Astros. They take a lead. And then Gleyber Torres makes a brutal error and gets Yordan Alvarez up, and he hits the game-tying single. And then Bregman hits the go-ahead RBI and makes it 6-5 Astros, and the Astros win 6-5 and clinch the series.
And just when the Yankees have a win in their hands, they throw it away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So this is to just tie a bow on all the strikeouts here. Yankees struck out 50 times in the series in the 4 games. That's 2. That is 2 whole games of not putting the ball in play. Think about that for a second. Mm-hmm. 2 out of 4 games, you couldn't put the ball in play.
27 outs.
That's
amazing.
That's crazy. So, yeah, all but 4 outs in 2 games were strikeouts.
Well, to give you an idea, the Philadelphia Phillies struck out 45 times in 5 games.
Yeah. Just, I mean, crazy. And then Jeremy Pena wins the ALCS MVP. I mean, he had a series, that kid.
He did.
He did.
He was good.
I'm not. It's hard to take it away from him. It's hard to say he didn't earn it, because he certainly did. I'm fine with him winning it. I wonder how much consideration Presley got. Presley was nails. That guy is absolute nails out of the pen.
Mm-hmm.
And Bregman too. Bregman had some really big hits for them also.
He did, yeah. If I was going to go with an offensive player, though, I would have picked Pena over Bregman.
Agreed.
But I wonder how much considerate Presley is nails, man. He's nails, and he's gonna have some big moments against Philly. And I hope we get more than one moment of like him against Harper, Hoskins, Castellanos. Like, I want to see him against the middle of that lineup 4 times.
Yeah,
like that'll be fun.
So to give you an idea of Presley in the series, he had 3 saves, pitched 3 1/3, no hits, no runs, no earned, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and a .3 WHIP.
Yeah, and he was an automatic in it. It was crazy. He was crazy.
Nothing was hit hard on him. Nothing.
Crazy good.
I mean, he's been Mr. Reliable for them in the back end of that bullpen for a few years now. I mean,
sure.
Yeah, nasty. So yeah, Astros go ahead and sweep. I mean, we had them winning in 5. I think we
I gave him a gentleman's.
Well,
yeah,
I think we figured the Yankees would at least win a game, but
yeah.
My goodness. And actually, the Yankees probably should have won Game 4, and they coughed it up. So
Yeah,
here we are.
crazy.
We're half right.
But at the same time, I feel like that series was not nearly as competitive as the scores may have shown, and
Right.
played out like I thought. The Astros basically owned the Yankees all the way through. The Yankees made a little bit of noise here and there, but ultimately the Astros were in control of every game
Yeah.
for the majority of it, if not all of it. And there's never really any doubt.
We'll get into the Yankees' demise here in a few minutes, but let's talk predictions here. Okay, we got Phillies, we got Astros. We start Friday night at 8:00. So goodness gracious,
Not liking the long layoff.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one too. But I mean, who do we got?
I mean,
And
I'll take. I don't know how you go again. I mean, Houston hasn't lost a game all year. I mean, all game, all postseason. How are they going to lose 4? Like, no one's been able to beat them once. I mean, I got to go Houston. I'll go Houston in 6. I mean, I think Philly. I think it'll be close. I think Philly will be in probably every game. I'm not sure we'll see a blowout. But I mean, we talk about how that kind of layoff, if you will, really looked like it affected LA and Atlanta. I don't think it's going to not affect you. And it's not as long of a layoff, but I don't think Houston's going to be impacted. If anything, minor. But like we've talked about, I mean, they're just so professional. They don't give easy outs. They don't give you extra outs. They don't make errors. You know, I mean, they're just a tough lineup up and down. They got Pop. Yordan Alvarez is an absolute animal.
He is.
I just think it's going to be too much of an uphill battle for Philly to win 4 games out of 7. I'll give Philly 2 games, but I think Houston in 6.
But I think what's unique about this layoff is like both teams have the layoff.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like the Phillies getting a 2-game warm up going into a team that had a week. So,
but I think if anything, yeah. Oh, I agree. I think if anything, it could hurt Philly because we talk about how hot they were coming in. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the last thing they need is a few days off.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's going to hurt a team, I think it'd be Philly. So, but yeah, I'll go with Houston in 6.
You know, I think Houston's got a massive home field advantage being able to open that roof because that clearly was a problem for the Yankees. They complained about the roof twice.
Oh yeah, right.
Because playing baseball outside is hard, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, as my little name badge here said, I am the newest Phillies fan because I hate the Astros. I hate the Astros. I still hate them for the whole cheating thing. There's nobody in the world whose face is more punchable than Alex Bregman's.
Oh no, Harrison Bader. Harrison Bader.
All right.
Close. It's
okay.
not Harrison. It's not close. I know you're partial because he has the same name as you, but he has the single most punchable face in the world.
Yeah, no, I don't. Seeing him go around throwing on one of those home runs, I'm like, oh god, I hate that guy. I don't even know him. All right. I mean, so I'm with Sean. I'm taking the Astros. I actually think it's gonna be the Astros in 5. I think Philly is gonna have a hell of a time getting anything going against the Astros. If Philly does win, it's if the series goes 7. If the Phillies can sneak a win or 2 out early and drag this thing out to 7 games, I give them a chance. If they can't get out to a quick start on the Astros and they're all of a sudden down 1-0 or 2-0, it's over. Just pack it up. Because once Houston has you in their grip, they do not let go, and they just choke the life out of you. So if Philly can come in and steal, 2 of the first 3 maybe, and make this interesting, I think they could win it in 7. But I think otherwise Houston steamrolls them and wins in 5.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm gonna probably split the difference here. Morgan says it's tough. So many people hate the Astros because they are one of the greatest teams ever assembled. I mean, the run that the Astros are on,
it's crazy.
It is insane. It really is.
He's right. He's right. Yeah. It's tough. I mean, it's a shame.
It's the taint. Unfortunately, the first half of this run is tainted by the cheating scandal. Like everyone's, and I'm one of them. I throw the first few years out. It's like it didn't happen because, the way they did it wasn't right.
But you know what, man? And that's fine. And I don't. If you even take the back half of this, they're still one of the greatest teams ever assembled. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if we just take the back half of what they've done, it is still like to look at it and look at what we've been able to watch. We are so accustomed to this. It's like 40 minutes into this, and we've mentioned one time that they're undefeated in the postseason. That should lead off a show, but we're just so used to it. We just expect it from Houston.
Yeah, they're there every
It's
year.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Just to answer Stacy's question real quick, she said, "Did you guys go through our choices for season winners and wild card spots at the end of the regular season?" We haven't yet. We'll probably do it after the World Series and see how wrong we really were. I'm not even going to talk about mine. I think
the best Red Sox pick hurts right now.
I think all playoff teams that I picked finished last in their division, and there's only 6 divisions.
I'm just going to hang my hat on the fact that I picked Carlos Rodon and Dylan Cease to win the Cy Youngs, and neither one of them are going to win it, but they're both going to be in top 5. So,
Carlos Rodon to the Mariners, calling it right now. He's their number 3.
I would love that.
He's their number 3. Lefty, righty, lefty. Ray Castillo, Rondon. Whew,
I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that.
All right, to my pick. I'm going to split the difference, and I'm going to go Astros and 5.5. And I'm going to say 5.5 because it's going to be a rain-shortened game. And,
get the fuck out of here.
Oh, Jesus, who let this guy on the show?
Man, I'm with Morgan. And Harrison. I want the Phillies to win. I just want a different. Although, have you seen that guy that is predicted like the last 4 World Series winners, and he's got like the next 10 like supposedly planned out?
No,
like that.
Really?
He's like he's picked like the next 10 World Series winners, and he's 3 for 3 since he did it back in 2019.
Like Back to the Future.
Yeah, they're calling him like the modern day Marty McFly. But I would love to see the Phillies win, and for everything you guys said, like if the Phillies can compete early and push the Astros and compete with them in the first couple games and not go down 2-0, they have a shot. Keep it 1-1, keep it 2-2, then they have a legit shot. But if Astros get out to 2-0, then it's
over.
It is over. But yeah, he right. So Stacy probably seen it then. So he predicted the Phillies to win this year, the Mariners to win next year, another team in 2025, and then the Mariners back in 26. Yeah. So that's why she's hoping it works out, which makes sense.
Makes sense.
But yeah, so I mean, I think it is the Astros that ultimately win here. But I mean, I'm going to be pulling for the Phillies the entire time.
I'm on record. I want the Phillies for sure.
All three. I think all three of us saying we want to see the Phillies win. I think the reality of it is they won't because Houston's that good. I just don't see how somebody wins 4 games against the Houston Astros. I just don't see it. I don't know how anybody pulls it off.
I don't either. And if you gave me 10 tries, but you only have 7 tries.
Right.
You only have 7 tries. You have to beat them 4 times. Like, I just don't see any team in baseball. The only team in baseball that could do it's the Dodgers. And even still, I would pick Houston because Houston is so much better managed and such a better complete team. But the Dodgers could. But I just don't. I just don't know how.
And they have a manager that they want to play for. Like these guys are all about Dusty Baker. You see it at that celebration at the end of the game last, couple nights ago. It was Dusty this, Dusty that. Like we're doing it for him. Like, I mean, they're just a well-oiled machine right now, and it's going to be really. Phillies have to play even more out of their minds than they've been playing this postseason. I think to even give this a shot, but I don't know. Well, we'll see. And we'll have a good, when we go in on Monday, we'll have 2 games under our belt, so we'll have a good,
Friday, Saturday, right?
Yep, Friday, Saturday, and then they travel day Sunday, and then they'll be playing Monday night when we're on again. So we'll have a good barometer to see like where, what the series feels like. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. But all right.
Yeah. So the World Series schedule is actually Friday night 8:00, Saturday 8:00, Monday 8:00, Tuesday 8:00, Wednesday 8:00, Friday 8:00.
All on Fox. Who's announcing? Joe Buck's not doing it, right? Because he's exclusively football now, right?
That's a good question.
Because somebody
because he's on ESPN. Because he's on ESPN now because he does Monday Night Football. He's not on Fox anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So actually, the nice thing is on our next show there'll be 2 games down and 1 playing as we're on. So
yeah. Right. So that would be good. We'll have a little live
And
talk
they're-
during that game.
Yeah, and they'll be in Houston for those first two. Okay, so yeah, so it's Houston, then to Philly for 3, then back to Houston for 2 more.
Yep. If necessary.
Yeah, which probably won't be, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
I
right.
saw something interesting. The only team in the last 20 years to actually win on their home field was the 2013 Red Sox. Every other World Series
Yeah.
champion is one on the
Yeah.
road.
Clinched on the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was it had gotten to that point where only one team in the last 20 years has won on their home field.
And that's crazy too, because the 2013 Red Sox is the first time they clinched at home since like 1903
I
or
know,
whatever it was.
right.
Like 'cause
Yeah,
that
'cause
was
you-
crazy because they
Yeah,
had won all those.
04
on the
they
road.
won in St. Louis. 07 they won in Colorado.
But it's not really that mind-blowing if you think about how it's set up, right? The 2-3-2 format, if you steal one on the road and then you come back home or you steal 2 on the road, you have 3 tries
Well,
to get
yeah.
2 more games at home.
Right.
Or you win. I said that backwards.
If you told
sorry.
me,
You go on the road and the home team wins, and then they just go somewhere else,
And win.
and win their 2 away games, then they're going to clench on that. You know what I mean? Like on that
Yep.
field.
I
There's more of
do,
a
yeah.
chance of that happening than the other way around.
But the fact that it's only happened one
Once.
time,
Yeah. I
like
guess.
that's the crazy part.
Math. but yeah, once in 20 years is nuts.
It is crazy.
All right.
All right,
We're
now
gonna
let's have
move
some
on.
fun.
Yep, we're gonna move on to 7th inning here, and we are going to. If you are a Yankees fan, I'm sorry.
Yeah, please look away.
This next segment might get kind of ugly, but we're gonna talk about how the fans are upset and pretty much booing the players off the field in Game 4. They just announced they're bringing Aaron Boone back. We don't understand why. Yeah, who wants to take
Probably the
this
same
one?
reason the Dodgers are bringing Dave Roberts back. Maybe Sean has it right. They're just puppets for the front office. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's a big reason. I mean, how else can you listen? We can hate on the Yankees. We can hate Cashman. Like these guys are not dumb people. I mean, they're in their positions because they spent their life in the game of baseball. They're not dumb. Like they can sit there. What bugs me is when they say like we have all the confidence in the world in Aaron Boone. Why? Like what has Aaron Boone done to give you all the confidence in the world? Like Dave Roberts, for all his faults, I don't think he's good. He did win a World Series. Like you can always fall back on the fact that he won one. He did. Listen, man, record books
know.
said he won. He won.
I guess. I mean,
I
we
mean,
played more
2020
seasons.
asterisk season, but
I was going to say we played more regular season games in Maine in high school than Dave Roberts played in 2020.
I know.
No.
But there's only one team that won the World Series that year, and it was the Dodgers. Everyone else played the same amount of games, and they couldn't get through the postseason without getting eliminated. Like it's,
Fair.
I'm not saying that he's a great manager because he's not, but you can always fall. Like if you're a Dodger fan, and the Dodger ownership comes out and they say, "Well, we have confidence in Dave Roberts," you can at least fall back and be like, "Well, he did win one. Like he was able to win it."
Yep.
Mickey Mouse as it was, he was able to win it. Aaron Boone hasn't been able to do it. Not only win it, he hasn't even been able to get there.
Right.
So
Yep.
I don't get the confidence. I think I try to be as level-headed as possible. I don't know how it's not a puppet show. He's a puppet. He does what they want him to. He plays the players they want. He says what they want in the media. Everything that they want, he gives them. And
Yeah.
that's why he's still the manager of the Yankees. It's the only thing that makes any kind of sense because it's a talented team. Now, granted, a team with immense holes that we've talked about year in and year out. But it's an immensely talented team that has no idea how to compete and win in the playoffs. And I don't care. I know players play, and you can only coaches and managers can only do so much. I get that. But if you're a team that consistently doesn't show up in the postseason because you don't know how to win games, that falls on the manager. It just falls on the manager, and he's got to go.
I brought this up a few weeks ago about how I don't think Aaron Judge is coming back. I don't think there's a bag big enough to keep him in New York. I think he's gone. He's going to the Dodgers. He's going to San Fran. He's going somewhere on the West Coast. I think kind of bringing it all back to the fan piece, like the interactions that the fans had with Miles Straw at the beginning of the year, Garrett Cole acting a fool, Josh Donaldson acting a fool. The whole organization as a whole is an absolute mess. And I don't think free agents are going to want to go there anymore. Like the way that this kind of, I mean, yes, if I get paid $500 million to go to New York, I'm going to go to New York. But I'm not shaving my goatee, Steinbrenner. Sorry. But I just think the overall feel is like I feel like somebody would want to go somewhere and be happy and maybe get paid $100 million less. I mean, what's $400 million instead of $500 million and being happy, instead of just being scrutinized, being in a fan base that just has zero respect for anybody on the field. You're booing your own home team off the field. I don't know. It wasn't a good look for the Yankees fans and organization during that Astros series. Like it really wasn't.
I'll give you one more and then I'll let Harrison go. I just want to, because I'm with you. I think you're on the right track, Nick. The way I look at it too, though, I think it's less about the fans, though. And I think if $500 million is $500 million. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to give me the bag. I'll take the bag.
Yeah.
But we look at like the Yankee teams that we're getting to and winning World Series in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like they were just as scrutinized, if not more.
Oh, yeah.
The media covered
Absolutely.
them just as hard, if not more. They had leaders in that clubhouse, though. They had the Derek Jeters. They had the Jorge Posadas. They had the Bernie Williams, the Andy Pettits. Like, they had guys that could keep the locker room focused. They could keep them on track winning. They had a manager that knew how to do any kind of in-game adjustments. Like, it was a team that had a leader, defined leaders that you would want to go to. Yes, I get scrutinized. Yes, the fans will boo me when I don't play well, but I don't care because I have Derek Jeter leading me. I don't care because I have Bernie Williams to pick me up. Who do they have now? Who's their leader? Garrett Cole, who complains, who just bitch moans and complains in the media, has no problem. He doesn't even keep it in-house. He just stands in front of a microphone, bitch moans and complains in front of a microphone. Same with Boone. Like, who are the leaders? Like, that would be more than the fans and the media. That would be me. If I was a player, I'd be like, who's the leader?
Yeah.
Like, who's the alpha in that locker room? Now, they're all alphas because they're all professional athletes. But who's the leader? And that's, to me, where they need to fix it. It's not the best players. They have good players. They have talented players. You need to go get a leader. Go get yourself a leader, somebody that's going to control and lead that locker room, and then you can find yourself going into the postseason. But until then, we'll never see it.
I think Judge was that leader. Look what he did in that Miles Straw incident.
Sure.
And he was like, stop
and that
it.
was,
like, to his own fans, he was like, stop it.
Yeah.
He told Garrett Cole to get back in the dugout after he got plunked. He's the first one out on that. Josh Donaldson tried to start the brawl, and Judge is like, dude, what are you doing? Like, he was that leader, but I think he's just tired of it. But, yeah.
Fair. No, you're right. I mean, that's I'll give you, that's fair on Judge. I just don't know. I mean, you wonder and you look, how was he respected though in the locker room as the leader? Like, we saw that he was trying to take the lead. I mean, I think that was pretty obvious that he was the guy being like, cut the shit. But was he respected in the locker room? I don't know. And I mean, who am I to say? But I think that locker room has a ton of issues.
Well, and I think you guys are getting it. I think the real problem with New York is that organization looks like it is completely in dysfunction. You've got a front office and a manager who are clearly kind of playing this little chicken game with each other, where Aaron Boone may be taking orders from the front office as to what he needs to do. So he's not actually managing correctly or the way he'd want to. You've got a guy in Aaron Judge who everybody expects to be a leader, but the question is he really? Aaron Judge generally is described as a pretty quiet guy, a keep to himself quiet guy. He comes in, does the work, goes home. But this Yankees team for years has been 25 guys, 25 caps. They don't have that energy or that camaraderie. Those teams in the 90s, Brocious and Martinez and Bernie Williams and Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, those guys were all about each other. Those guys, it wasn't about who was who. They weren't swinging from their ass to hit home runs. They were worried about moving the next guy up and winning games. That's all that organization cared about, was winning games. Yep. All the Yankees organization cares about is stats. You look at the Aaron Judge home run race. Look at the players they keep bringing in. You brought in Giancarlo Stanton. Great. He's awesome. He hits a bunch of home runs, but he's not a winner. He doesn't have that same pedigree. You got bring in a guy like Josh Donaldson, who's been a cancer everywhere he's been, who gets into a racist remark battle with Tim Anderson and has to apologize to teammates on day one because he's got a track record with them. Like, this organization is so out of touch with the fan base, and what they actually need to do to win, they've drifted so far from what was Yankees baseball forever. If you go back to the 90s teams and watch them, they were guys, they were contact hitters, they were high character guys, they were great teammates. This Yankees team is built to be fun to watch because it's going to be like a home run derby, but when you get to the postseason and face good pitching, they can't win. And it's nothing but high maintenance and ego on that team. Garrett Cole, I'd be willing to bet if you go into that Yankees locker room after a game, it's probably dead silent. I bet those guys don't even talk to each other because it's nothing more than a bunch of big egos and big paychecks that are coming in, going through the motions and going home. Because none of them, when game 4 is over, that dugout was empty in 2 seconds. Look at the San Diego Padres dugout when that series ended. You had about 10 or 12 guys hanging over the railing watching the Phillies celebrate because they wanted to take in the moment to remember it. The Yankees, they were done. They're already booking their plane tickets to the Bahamas to go play golf. They were done. It's a bunch of like professional hitmen that are there to do a job. When it's over, it's over. And that was not how that organization was constructed. Cashman is doing nothing but trying to put butts in the seats and keep the media dollars rolling. And I don't think the front office actually cares if they win, because they've done so well in every other regard in terms of ticket sales, media rights, TV deals. They're killing it. And I don't think that the product on the field reflects what that organization's ever been about.
Yeah.
I'll say this, though. If you're all of it, I agree with. And if you're Cashman, if you're going to give me a lineup, a clubhouse full of assassins, you got to get me an assassin manager, because the manager just doesn't fit.
100%.
Like, Boone doesn't fit with what that team is.
No.
Boone was like, when Boone, and I hate like ganging so much on the guy because like he seems like a good dude. Like, I don't know him personally, but like, and he wasn't that kind of player. Like, he was the utility guy. He was the guy that would go in and play all over the field, and all he cared about was winning. And he'd bunt, and he'd hit and run, and small ball kind of guy. It's like, that's like, you can't tell me he doesn't want to play that way. That's his style of baseball.
Right.
You know, so it's like
just like Alex Cora, they were the same kind of player.
Yeah, oh, for sure. For sure.
There was one moment in the playoffs, I think it was Nestor Cortez and Trevino were having a conversation in the dugout, and Boone kind of just puts his arms around both of them, listens to the conversation, and then just like taps them both on the shoulder and like walks away. Like, didn't add anything to the conversation, it looked like. It just, you know, I don't know. Something's missing. I know we're not obviously like in the middle of it. We're not in the clubhouse. You can't feel it. You know what I mean? But the outside looking in, there is something huge missing in this entire organization. And there's some
no question
disconnect either from the front office to Boone or from Boone to the players or in both spots. It's just,
yeah. And
I don't know.
I put a couple articles in the chat for people to take a peek at. There's a lot of rumblings. Yankees players are upset about how they were treated at home, the fans booing and getting out. Honestly, the fans at times got pretty nasty towards the players. There's some players that were just saying it was brutal and unbearable to be at Yankee Stadium as a Yankee, to have the home crowd turn on them like that. And then there's also another one. Michael Kay went on a rant, and Michael Kay loves to shock you with crazy stuff that he says, but you know, the Yankees mental health coach or mental conditioning coach, whatever they call him, decided to use the 0-4 Red Sox team that beat the Yankees down 3-0 as the motivation to show the Yankees it could be done. And Michael Kay, his comment was, how could you do that? It would be like somebody from Abraham Lincoln's family trying to teach the kids about shooting in theaters, and you use their dad as an example of how to avoid it. Like, he's going to they used a Yankees team that had a historic collapse to show the Yankees that it can be done. Like, if I'm a fan, the fan base is so mad at this organization for being so out of touch and so lost. How do you tell the fan base, we hear you, but we're going to do exactly the same thing next year? Just sign up for your season tickets right now. Like, how do you do that?
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be, I mean, the whole watching the video from 0-4, like, it's funny, but like, that doesn't, to me, that's not that much. I mean, there's not a single person on that team that was, it's not like you're doing it in 2006 when that team is still together.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I mean, the only thing they have in common is they wear the same uniform. Like, whatever. Like, that part doesn't bug me as much. But like, if I was a fan, I'd be furious at exactly what you just said right there. You're putting the exact same bullshit out on the field, and then you're going to tell me to renew my season tickets when you put the same shit. Like, you're making no upgrades. You're making, like, we said it when they brought Josh Donaldson. We was like, oh, it's just another guy of the same ilk. And what did he end up being? Another guy of the same ilk. Like, dude, you got 3 fucking slapdicks here who don't even know what the fuck is going on, and we know what's going to happen, and they just keep doing the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Josh Donaldson was trash in the playoffs, as he's always been. Like, the guy, and during the regular season, you had the distraction of him having to make amends with players who he had histories with on day one. The whole Tim Anderson situation, calling him Jackie. Like, the guy's a piece of garbage, and yet you bring him into a clubhouse that's already a little wonky, and think it's going to work. You know, you keep throwing garbage into this mixing bowl and hoping that this beautiful cake comes out of it. It doesn't work that way. You can't keep mixing crap and expecting a better outcome, but that's what they keep doing. Anthony Rizzo, great guy, good first baseman, played half the season, but another guy who doesn't fit. Like, he doesn't give you anything other than an occasional batch of home runs. Like, what happened to the days of guys that hit doubles, hit for average, that move guys around? Like, that the Yankees teams of old, they just kept coming at you. Every freaking guy.
Rizzo was that guy. Rizzo was an average guy in Chicago.
Well, yeah, he used to be, right?
Occasional power. You know what I mean? Like, that short porch and right has just ruined him as a hitter.
Yeah.
He's just going for it every single time. But
and you look at a team like the Phillies. What did the Phillies do? Like, they weren't just sitting there like trying to rip home runs. They were up there,
but you know what though?
That
shit's contagious. Like, you get yourself. I mean, you guys played. I mean, obviously we didn't play at that level, but like, you get yourself in the dugout of a bunch of guys ripping oppo gap doubles. That's contagious. Like, now it's my turn. Like, I'm gonna get up and rip a double. You get guys swinging for the fences trying to hit home runs. Like, that's also contagious. Like, it's a culture thing that they have to fix more than anything else. I think major league hitters are major league hitters. Aside from the Joey Gallos and the Giancarlo Stantons, who are just going to career 220 but a billion home runs. These guys are good hitters. If you get them surrounded by other good hitters, they will become good hitters again. But it's a culture. Like, you have to change that culture.
Yep.
That's what they got to do.
Absolutely. Agree. All right. Well, Yankee fans can come back now. We're going to move on. We're going to
if you're a Yankees fan, maybe you don't want to come back to being a Yankees fan. That's an option too.
That's true. We're going to kind of switch gears back to the playoffs here for our rounding third segment and talk about who was the best of the LCS, who was the worst, and then what was our biggest surprise of the LCS. So let's start with biggest surprise. What was our biggest surprise?
Well, I think the biggest surprise for me, probably San Diego was only able to win one game, because we had said it earlier, they were in every game.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a team that had beat the Mets, they had beat the Dodgers, they were playing well. And so I guess on the same vein, Philly just seems to have that killer instinct. And they just put it on full display against San Diego. So I would say that's probably my biggest surprise, because the Yankees, Houston didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
No, there's no shock there whatsoever. How about you, Nick?
My biggest surprise was, I've already said it, was not bringing in Josh Hader to face Bryce Harper in that situation. That's a fantastic one. Altuve was 0 for 24, I think, before he got his first hit, and it didn't even phase the Astros.
That was my biggest surprise, was the fact that you still got nothing out of Jose Altuve, and they're still rolling.
Really? That surprised you? I mean, I'm not saying that like I was expecting it. I mean, that surprises you that much?
Well, you don't expect Altuve to go 0 for 24 to begin with.
No.
But then,
Altuve going 0 for 4 is more surprising than it not mattering to the Astros.
Well, I mean, I guess, but still, like, he's a big table setter, and he wasn't on base 24 times in a series.
Yeah. I guess,
And you look at Altuve's postseason history. This is a guy who's like second or third all time in postseason home runs. Like, this is a dude that, like, the calendar flips to October, and he's like another human being. But for the Astros to roll like they have, and Altuve has given you nothing to this point, that amazes me, because if that guy starts to hit, like I mentioned you guys in that text thread, if he starts to hit, they might win. They might beat Philly in 3 games, because they'll just wave the white flag and go home. Because if that
Right.
whole lineup is hitting, I don't think anybody on the planet has a chance of taking one game, let alone 4 from them. But they rolled with nothing from him.
Yeah, that's a great one.
But
Yeah.
since that one got taken, my other surprise was the Philadelphia Phillies pitching. All anybody talked about all year is the fact these guys can hit, and Wheeler has been one of the most dominant pitchers the whole postseason. Nola wasn't great. He was good enough. It was really just one bad inning that sent him off a cliff.
Yeah.
But their pitching they had a 3.6 ERA as a staff in the NLCS. They continue to pitch really, really well, and that was a bit of a question mark for them. The knock on them coming into the season was they're going to hit, their defense is atrocious, and their pitching is a question mark. It's iffy. And they've continued to hit. Their defense has actually been okay, and their pitching's been a whole lot better than advertised.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wheeler stuff is just heavy. Like it's a
nasty.
heavy 97, a heavy 98, and then the slider just bites. It's
nothing.
gross.
Again, nobody squares him up. Like nothing's hit that hard against him.
No.
You know who that reminds me of too is Randy Johnson. Talk about a heavy ball. Like Randy Johnson, was even when you seem to square it up, it still somehow broke the bat. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I'm with you on Wheeler.
All right. Your worst performance of the LCS.
Altuve, gotta be right.
It's fair to say that he individually he was not good. I think he finished the ALCS with he was 3 for 16 with a double, couple of walks, 188 average.
I'm going Aaron Judge at 061 and the Yankees striking out 50 times in the series. You can't strike out 50 times in a 4-game stretch and expect to compete. You just can't.
No, for me the biggest disappointment was the entire Yankees lineup. They were, other than Harrison Bader, they had nothing. They had a couple of moments here and there, but they were never really that competitive. The at-bats were not good. Their general approach to the plate was atrocious. They were taking great pitches, swinging at trash. They were not squaring anything up. They were not being patient. They were not. Stanton looked okay at times. Judge had a couple of hits, a couple of home runs. Harrison Bader's the only guy that consistently did much of anything. And then also Aaron Boone frigging with the lineup in Game 1, the whole lineup thing for the Yankees was a disaster from the start.
I love that the fans cheered Matt Carpenter for his first at bat, and then after he went 0 for 4 and he pinch hits him the next game, they're all like "boo" when they announced him. It's just
the Yankees fans are restless, man. They are. They've had enough. They've had enough.
Well, I think Yankee fans, for all of their faults, they're not dumb. They love their baseball, and I think they probably look at this the same way we look at this. And they're just like, what the fuck is going on? What are you guys doing? What are these decisions? What is happening?
Makes sense.
And I think they're obnoxious about the way they go about it at times.
They're the worst, but
they're not.
Red Sox fans are just as bad. We've been shitting on them all year too.
Sure. At times.
Well, and I do have to say, generally, I view Philadelphia fans as the worst on the planet. They are awful. They throw snowballs at Santa and batteries at players.
Sure.
But I will say, in the NLCS, that fan base was electric. That place was loud.
Yeah.
It was loud nonstop, and you didn't hear the crazy nonsense you used to get out of Philly, which was the boos and the heckling. They were just loud.
Yeah. Did you give us our worst, Sean? Did you give yours?
Well, I joked with Altuve. I was like, it's got to be Altuve
right.
going over whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Your best or your favorite performers of the LCS?
Ooh.
I know. That's
interesting.
I got one. I'll go if you want a second.
Yeah, go.
I would. The Phillies pitching staff could be one. That's a great one. I'll say Jeremy Pena. I'll say Pena was my favorite. Is that yours? I'd say
the rookie under the bright lights, and he was huge for them.
Main product. A homegrown guy. That's awesome. Love that story.
Yeah, and
All right,
you
you
know,
can
I,
have.
I think he gets himself into periods at times. You saw it throughout the regular season, and then you saw it in the Seattle series a little bit. Like, he'll get in these moments where he chases breaking balls, especially from right-handers. Like it's chase, but he's a rookie. I mean, he's a young kid. You expect that, but he does not shrink in the moment. I mean, this guy stands up in late games or big moments with guys on base, and he just doesn't shrink. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like Houston did nothing wrong, and they should be penalized from going from Correa directly to Pena. Like you should lose a draft pick or something.
Right.
Like it's unfair.
You could have possibly upgraded. Like you could have possibly upgraded from Correa to
I
Pena,
think you
Like,
definitely did. I think defensively, you definitely upgraded.
and that's crazy because Correa is a Platinum Glove winner.
I think Pena is. I don't think it's close. I think Pena is way better
He's
defensively.
great. Yeah,
And I think
he's
it's not
gonna
close.
win Gold Glove at shortstop this year.
I
think, too.
I think
Yeah.
as a rookie, he at least replaced Correa as a rookie. Now give that
hell
kid a
yes.
year or two, forget about it. He'll be one of the top shortstops in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, my best performance was that, Morgan, for sure. I mean, I think Bryce even said it. Like Realmuto was going up, and he goes, "Hey, let's make this a moment for everyone to remember." Realmuto gets on, and then Harper just takes it deep in that bottom of the 8th inning. I mean, career-defining at bat and result, like crazy. I mean, that was something to see.
Yeah,
something to see.
Yeah, well, since Sean took mine, which was Pena, I'm going to give you two because I'm just going to be that guy tonight. My two are I think Schwarber. I think he set the tone for the Phillies. That 900-foot home run he hit, I think immediately was like the shot heard around the world. But he had some big hits for them. And then the other one is it's the Houston Astros pitching staff. I mean, they had a 1.5 ERA in 4 games against the Yankees. Valdez was unhittable. It didn't matter who they rolled out of the pen. That pitching staff just never gave the Yankees a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yeah, I mean that whole moment, Morgan, was just out of control.
Bananas.
I mean, it's what dreams are made of. I mean, other than Joe Carter, was there a bigger playoff home run hit? Joe Carter shot heard around the world.
It's top 5.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's got to be. It's not even close. But yeah. All right.
I don't know, man. I mean, Ortiz walking off to prevent the sweep to start the comeback is up there in top 5. That's up there with them.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. The home run against Zumaya, was it Zumaya or Benoit?
No, Al Albuquerque. Oh, Benoit. Yeah.
The security guard guy, the grand slam.
Yeah. And I'll give you another one. The 2018 World Series, the Dodgers won that like 18-inning game, right?
Max Muncy.
Yeah.
To make it 2-1. The next game, the Dodgers are up, and Mitch Moreland hits a 2-run pinch hit homer halfway up through the bleachers. Yeah. You remember that one? And the Sox took control back. That's a big one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have thought that still to this day the MVP of that World Series was Steven Pearce?
Steven Pearce, I know.
And it could have been Dave Price. It could have been David Price.
I know.
It probably should have been.
Yeah.
Probably should have been.
But man. I mean, no question that there's been some huge home runs hit, but
I know Kirk Gibson and all those other guys, but
crazy.
Fiskey and all those, but
yeah. All right, so that's it for the playoffs. Like we said, we're going to be World Series Game 3 Monday night. We'll be live, like pretty much right when it starts, so that's kind of cool.
Yep.
And so you guys can all join us there. A couple things before we go. Adam Wainwright, gets the standing ovation walking off the field with Molina and Pujols, and he's like, you know what? Well, I'm going to sign another 1-year contract because I don't want to go home to my wife yet. So I'll come back for 2023, pitch another year for the Cardinals. So Wainwright's back next year. Yeah. And then all the reports for Aaron Judge have already started coming out. San Francisco Giants said they're pretty much going to sell the team in order to buy Judge. They said there's no, right? They pretty much said there's no cap limit. They're just going to go for it, whatever it takes.
Yeah, they said that they will not be outbid.
Yeah. Dodgers also came out with a report saying they are most likely not going to even put in a bid on Trey Turner. They'll move Mookie Betts to second base and go all in on Judge. So, I mean, goodness gracious. I just can't with the Dodgers.
And I love that there's still the rumors out there. Article came out a couple hours ago that the Seattle Mariners are seeing if they have the ability to make a run at Aaron Judge.
That would make that lineup pretty potent too.
Could you imagine him and J-Rod together up there? I mean, like big bro, little bro kind of situation. That'd be a lot of fun for a lot of years.
That'd be awesome.
Be a lot of fun.
I think, I mean, we're going to get into it, obviously, with the offseason. We'll have some time to really dive in, like, in depth to these teams and these divisions, because the free agent class coming up is a very interesting one. And I know it's World Series time, and Sean already yelled at me because it was postseason time, but I'm really excited for free agent talk too. And especially since we know there's going to be baseball in the spring, like the free agent talk is going to be fun this year. And I mean, there's a lot of teams that are close. I mean, Guardians are close, Mariners are close, and there's some teams that didn't quite make the playoffs that are, you know, a few pieces away and that could do it. So, I mean, we'll see. And then you got Shohei and Trout at the deadline next year if the Angels are out of it. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces possibly next year. So,
well, and the cool thing is, I mean, look at the bracket behind me here from this year. I'm like, there's a number of new teams in the playoffs we haven't seen in years. It's nice to get some variety and see some new teams move up, and
which is even crazier, like that stat where like it seems like it's always the same 8 teams in the playoffs, but we've had a different World Series champion for the last, 12 or something like that now? It's like 12 or 13 years. There's been somebody different that's won the World Series. Like, I mean, there's a lot of parity.
When was the last back-to-back?
I can't even remember.
That wasn't
the Yankees 90s? Probably in the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, the only team to repeat in the last decade was the Red Sox with 13 and 18.
Right. But I mean, think about it.
But win twice in the decade.
Sorry, win more than once.
Yeah.
But think, I mean, the Royals.
No, Dodgers. I mean, Giants did. The Giants
won. Okay, yeah. So 03,
12, 14, 04. And 16 or whatever it was. Remember the Giants won like 3 and 6 years or something.
They did.
Okay. Well, even then, whatever. But like,
no, but I'm just trying to think of repeats. Got it
right.
Yeah.
But like, even the Royals aren't that far out of a World Series. You know what I mean? And they're down in the basement again.
Right.
I mean, there is a lot of parity, but
10, 12, and 14.
Yeah,
10, 12, and 14. But yeah, so I mean, it's good to see teams that haven't, like you said, haven't been there in a while. To see the playoff drought for the Mariners, and that was
cool.
Yeah.
See Seattle host a playoff game for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, and that fan base was there for it. That was awesome. But yeah. All right, you fellas have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Just to give you a heads up here we go. I got the list. Braves, Dodgers. This is going backwards. Braves, Dodgers, Nationals, Red Sox, Astros, Cubs, Royals, Giants, Red Sox. So Red Sox in 2013 is the first time it like repeats. Like you have 2 winners. So that's 10 years. There's been somebody different each year.
Oh, I didn't understand. I'm sorry. When you said repeat, I thought you meant like back to back.
No. But I mean, still, like the Red Sox have won twice.
Right.
The last team to win like 2 kind of close to each other.
I see what you're saying.
The last back-to-backs were the 98, 99, 2000 Yankees.
Right.
Nobody's done it since then.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But yeah. Pretty sweet. But all right. Yeah. So next Monday at 8 p.m. we will be on for game 3. Hopefully these first 2 games are everything that we're hoping it's going to be. Go Phillies. Thanks for joining us for the 1-year anniversary. Like I said before, like thanks a lot for the support. It means a lot. I mean,
it does.
We're just three kids talking baseball. Like, you know, it's freaking awesome. I can't like geeking out about it, but I love it. I look
It's been a
forward
lot
to
of
it
fun.
every Monday too. So, but thanks guys, appreciate it, and all the hot takes
Thanks,
and
fellas,
all the comments. So
for sure.
Awesome.
yeah. All right, so we'll see you guys next Monday at 8 p.m. Have a good weekend.